Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Springfield City Councilor Victor Davila, and welcome to the Sustainability and Environment Subcommittee. Today is the 26th, Tuesday, 26th, 2026. I'm calling this meeting to order at 3:08. I am being joined remotely by Council President, Madam Tracy Whitfield. Welcome, Madam President.
Thank you.
I'm also, I am joined here in person by Code Enforcement Michael Jacob. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. I'm joined remotely by Sergeant, is that, I don't want to misspell your name, Catalier? Catalier, thank you for joining us, sir. And we're joined by our good friends over at the parks. I can see Peter, Tom. Who else there? I can't see that far. Well, thank you guys for being here. So just to give a little bit of context, we had a situation altogether about maybe a month ago on Orleans Street, in which there was a lot of illegal dumping on private property. I am happy to report that that has since been picked up, and it looks wonderful. Let's hope that it stays that way. So I thought that it would be in consultation with Councilor Brown, who unfortunately is not able to join us, to have a meeting and to start discussing what the process of illegal dumping for the residents to report, and who's supposed to have jurisdiction of what, if it's on city side, if it's private property, what is the role of the city on those circumstances. My understanding that dumping was there, the trash was there for a while before it was brought up to the attention of the city. So with that being said, why don't we, who wants to go first? Tommy or Mike? Who wants to,
It doesn't matter. Well,
Mike, what do you start?
Essentially,
Enforcement perspective.
you know, from the city's perspective, if people are dumping on the property, they need to call 311. They can actually call different departments. It really falls into the zoning department's hand or the housing department. Housing would be writing up for maintenance of land, and then the zoning department would be writing up for just flat out dumping. And when it's on private property, we have to, in some cases, send it to court. I think the owner caught wind of this one, and I think that news thing actually probably did a lot to get this owner, in this case here, to clean that up. But essentially, they should have been calling maybe much earlier. I'm not sure exactly how it went on for that long, but I think ultimately it was the housing department in this case that rid them up. And they ultimately cleaned it, but it took a long time for that to get cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, in a nutshell, that is it. They can call 311. They can call either department directly, but really just call 311.
Okay. My quick question, what are the, we might as well just start talking about the fines. What fines are given out for not properly maintaining and cleaning up illegal dumping?
Well,
there's a difference between litter and illegal dumping.
Yeah, we would send a letter to the owner of the property, and the owner of property would have a window to try to take care of whatever's on their property. If they don't take care of it, or there's no progress at all, then we would start the ticketing process.
What's that window like?
Well, it could be forthwith, but generally we give them 30 days to try to take care of it.
Or if not, it could be what, 100?
You could be fined $100 per day, yes.
Which could add up very quickly.
Well, it definitely could, especially if you have multiple departments. You could have housing department write it up, much like we did the Dollar Tree.
Yes.
We had housing department writing it up. We were writing it up on the zoning end, and we have some officers over there writing it up. So that was like a three-prong kind of deal. And I think the same thing could happen even on private property. Like the officers could probably ticket.
You say police officers, you mean?
Yeah. We've been sending, maybe it's because procedurally that's what we've been doing since I've been here, is send out a notice, give you a little time to correct, and if there's no work or no progress, then we start ticketing.
Right. Mike, at which point does it trigger court action?
Well, court action would be triggered by, as a result of, we sent you the letter. You did nothing. We said your ticket, maybe it's 2 tickets. And then we'd have to push it into court because obviously there's no action and there's no improvement whatsoever. So that's when it'll end up in court and then.
What is that? Is that based, Mike? Is that based upon time limits or is that based upon discretion?
It is discretion, again, because you could have somebody that's actually cleaning it up a little bit. Maybe it's not happening fast enough. But it's the ones that absolutely do nothing and you've gotten a couple of tickets and you still did nothing. So those are the ones that will end up in court.
Right. $100,000, they go out very quickly, extremely quickly. Now, it is possible that the city goes in, now I'm talking about private property now. The city goes in, but we need a court order, correct?
Yeah, we can't just, we send a letter to the owner of the property, but sometimes we get nowhere with the letter.
Right.
But we certainly send notice to the owner.
Right.
What for us to do anything, like in some cases, the city can clean it and then lien the property for the cost. But the idea is to get it cleaned up with the least amount of hassle, least amount of problems.
Right. So if we clean it, we could place a lien if they don't pay.
If they don't pay or don't have the means to do it. We have in some cases before in the past, cleaned it and leaned it ourselves.
Okay.
But that involves court. You can't just go in there and do it.
Okay, very well. Let me ask, Sergeant, quick question. Do we know if our officers are ticketing illegal dumping sites besides the departments? I think you muted, Sergeant.
Sorry. This particular site, we ticketed 2 or 3 times.
When you said we, you mean PD?
Yes, the SPD. I did it myself twice. The sector officer did it once. Now, as the SPD doesn't collect the fines, I'm not too worried about the payment. I was trying to get the owner's attention that there's a problem that he needed to attend because he's not local. He's not there. Maybe he doesn't know about it. That's the only way we have of getting a hold of him.
Where is he from, Sergeant?
I don't have it off the top of my head. I'd have to look this up, but it wasn't. It was something we had to mail.
Okay. So our officers do ticket when it's brought to their attention as well.
Yeah. We had complaints in the community meetings about it, and just driving by, you can't miss it.
Right.
So something like that will typically will ticket. A lot of our calls of that nature come in via 311. Sometimes we won't come across them, but we're usually bouncing from 311 to the other. And it had the owner come forward earlier, maybe we could have investigated it as an illegal dumping. But either way, the point was to get it cleaned up.
Right. Please, Sergeant, allow me to say that we're being joined by Councilor Hurst. Thank you for joining us, Councilor Hurst. Go ahead, Sergeant. So you were saying? Just
that in some situations, we would eventually use it as an illegal dumping, as a criminal matter against whoever dumped there. This property, it seemed like the owner allowed piles of litter to become bigger piles of litter, to become bigger piles of litter, and then people just started adding to it, where it was cascading into the street.
I understand.
We don't typically get something that large based on a 311 call.
Okay, very well. I'm going to turn it over to Tom and his team for further discussion. Tom, I do believe that you guys are running the Clean City, and please tell us your perspective on this illegal dumping, not only at this location, but also throughout the city. Turn it over to you, Tom.
Sure. Thank you, Counselor. And you're right. This illegal dumping is a serious problem. Right now in the city, our crews led by Tom McCarthy here, and Mike Plosky, who does all our camera work, are out there every single day. So far this month, they've been out 358 times, picking up illegal dumping sites. This one that you're 358 so far this month.
Wow. Okay.
And so the issue that you were speaking of earlier, obviously you covered all that. There was private property. We were not allowed to go onto private property, but Typically, if somebody gets called in 311 or directly to my office or directly to the mayor's office or any department, and it's city property, we'll dispatch our Clean City group to get out and clean it up just as they did today. So again, we're out there. It's a big problem. We have every year we do a press conference we describe and show pictures of the people who violate, to hope that it would have effect, to hope that the court systems hold folks accountable. But we continue and we march on, and it's a big issue.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit, Tom, about Clean City, if you may?
So, I'm sorry.
Can you tell us a little bit about, and to the people at home that are watching, a little bit about Clean City? What is that?
Sure. Who runs that department? Speak to that, okay?
Sure.
How many people I have?
No, just give us a quick overview of what so that people at home know what's Clean City and what do you guys do?
Well, most of the things we do is like usually in the morning we'll maintain probably 110 lots for the city and tree belts. We'll cut the grass, clean the lots, and that way. And then in the wintertime, we do about 98 lots to the city also, and clear up the snow. And in the afternoon, we'll do all the legal dumpings. Any 311 calls I get, anything, if I don't get 311 calls, if it's not calls from ordinance or housing, they'll call us also. Or I'll get a couple calls from Jaleesa. She'll call me to pick up some certain things also that she can't pick up on her properties. And then we'll go around the city and pick anything up that we see that shouldn't be on the streets.
Okay, just out of curiosity, Tom, and I thank you for your work. How many guys you have all together for this endeavor?
30.
Did you say 3 or 30?
Mike helps out, so it's 4. And myself, 5.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Did I hear Tommy right saying you guys been out 358 times already this year, picking up illegal dumping?
Yes. So typically over 4,000 a year, Counselor.
That's huge. Tom, are we when that happens? Are we? I mean, now that I believe ticketing should be the first option, but are we ticketing? Are we advising the people? And I know that this 358 number, Tommy, is that public and or private property?
Only on public.
Only on
The only time I go in and there's one that someone will dump on public property and we have an address, I'll reach out to ordinance and they'll ask me to do an invoice for them. So then they can put criminal complaint in.
Right. Go ahead, Mike.
You don't go on private property, but could you, if you were allowed to?
Tom?
I'm not supposed to do that.
Go ahead.
I'm not supposed to be on private property at all. The lawyers are totally not there for long.
Okay, I see. So what will, this sounds like a good question for the law department. I just ask any question for anybody. I'm just trying to figure out, I know that, Mike, you said discretion. What is bothering me on the Orleans Street, if I'm not mistaken, from what I'm told, like 2 months went by. And I know pile keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Who makes that decision, Mike? I mean, at which point?
Well, I'm sure it probably, and I'm not gonna speak for Keith in the housing department nor Amber from our law department, but I think the first step is that city files its complaint, and then essentially you have to make sure you got proper notice to the parties of the owners of the property.
Right.
In order for us to get some kind of order, we have to go in there and clean it up. So that in and of itself could just take time on its own.
Councilor Hurst, Councilor Hurst, I'm gonna get to you in a second, sir. Sergeant, go ahead.
When you were talking about giving them a chance to do it, what we did is we issued a warning on March 30th, a written warning we sent to the owner of the property, who I looked up that it's in Holyoke. Then In the beginning of May, we issued $100 fine. And a week later, on May 8th, we issued a $500 fine. So we just kept increasing 500 as high as we can go with something like that, I believe. So we started off with just a warning, just to get you out there and let them know about it. We're not looking to bang people right off the bat. We'd rather have them cleaned up than the money.
So, Sergeant, I just want to, Sergeant, just for my own education here. So you guys could give a fine up to $500?
Yeah.
Is that per MGL, Mass State General Law?
No, this is an ordinance ticket. This is just simply an ordinance ticket.
Yeah,
Mike?
I'm going off of the zoning ordinance, and the zoning ordinance and mass general laws will allow the zoning ordinance violation on up to 300. But if you went under city ordinance, that's a different story.
So basically we have different amounts of fines.
Under different ordinances, it appears so.
Okay, so,
We also, as the police department, we also have no way of enforcing collection. That's
right.
on the other housing and code can take them to court. We can issue fines, but we have nothing to do with collection. We don't take people to court for it or anything.
I understand. Okay, so I think we need to, that's one of the things that we should look at. Why do we have different amounts? You know, I don't have an answer to that. I'm learning something new here.
It could be something as simple as, instead of writing it under the ordinance, you just write it up on the city ordinance that allows you to fine them a higher amount.
Okay, Councilor Herseth, did you have a question? I see you put your hand down.
Just a quick question, in terms of when this particular site was originally cited. I know the police department or the ordinance squad said that it was cited a couple months ago. My understanding is that it was cited well before that as well by either housing or zoning. Is that accurate, Mike?
I believe the housing department did have it written up, and I want to say that my inspector sent an email to the housing department roughly about a month ago prior to the events that unfolded after that. Meaning they had the news station, the news came out, and so it's in the housing department's hand and law department, but housing department did have it written up. Why?
So housing department had it written up more than a few months ago, correct?
Yes.
And then the ordinance officers ended up citing it on their own multiple times. And so I guess my question is, at what point in time, because my understanding that this particular property was an eyesore from the very beginning. And so at what point in time do we get it in the court and get that process started, especially considering that the property was such an eyesore so early? Like, who makes that judgment?
Well, again, that would be up to the department head. So in the case of the housing department, that would be up to Keith O'Connor. I think at the time they were when Maurice sent, my inspector sent an email, I believe they were in the ticketing process. But I think the email was sent because saying, hey, you know, this thing's getting worse. We need to do something. And it didn't happen quick enough, put it that way.
Got you. It seems to me, Mr. Chair, that there ought to be some sort of way in which we expedite cases like these to get them in the court and then to get a lien on the property if the owner is not going to clean it up. And I know my understanding is that we have a lien and clean program, but I mean, it's not going to matter if we don't get it in the court until well after it's piled up and become an eyesore. So I don't know if that's administratively what we need to do better, but certainly can't have that happen again.
In most cases, though, we do get a better response, and it normally doesn't go on like that.
Understood.
But in this case, it did drag out, and perhaps we could have did something a little bit differently on our side to recognize the fact that this isn't your normal sort of case.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we do get a quicker response than that, or no response at all.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilors. Madam President, what's your? I think you're muted, Madam President. I think you froze. I think you're frozen, Madam President. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. I wanted next time we spend on the Clean Slate program each and how much so far this year.
Madam President, you are choppy, but I think what you're asking is you want to ask Tom how much are we spending on the cleaning program per year? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
How much?
Tom,
Cost.
Tom,
Cost.
you guys are choppy as well.
If the question was how much, what was the cost? It's about $60,000 so far.
And
So-
how much did we spend last year?
66,000.
And you said there were, to date, there was 300 and some odd cleanups, or this month?
This month, 358.
Wow.
Usually averages between 400 a month.
400 a month. Okay. I too just wanted to echo what Councilor Hirsch said about the process. So we've been looking at a lot of processes in the city and asking for data so that we can give recommendations on how to like streamline processes and make sure that things are done in a timely manner. And so I think that, after a certain amount of notifications and 30 days, 60 days, 90 days pass, the process should get going into court. I know that Councilor Click Bruce reached out to the mayor's department and something was taking place in court, and I think it was getting expedited, but we definitely need to look at process and procedures. There's not clear processes on the website for each department, how long things are, turnaround times, and things like that. And we just need to like figure out how to get that information on the website and processes, because sometimes people don't even know who to contact outside of 311. 311 is on overload, police department, it's just, if we could have processes where we fill out more forms, get the information out easier. And even if there are forms now, I don't think people know about that. Like, they didn't know that you could do forms for 311 on the website and things like that. So we have to figure out a way to get the information out to the community, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I just have a kind of a general comment to make, kind of general comment / question, I guess. It's Mike. I understand that we need permission from the court to go into private property and get it. But just two things here. One, I went to this location myself, Orleans, and I gotta say, I'm from Forest Park, and I heard it up there. And so I went down to look at it myself out of the, what you call it, the love for the city. It doesn't matter that where we are, was to go and check it out. And I have to say, I was appalled by what I saw. And so the two questions that I have is, one, there was this pile of trash. Some of it was on private property, which is an empty lot, by the way, but it's nevertheless still private property. And there was a significant amount that was spilling over to the sidewalk, the street, and the drainage. That is city property. Now, I know that it might be a bad optic for the city to go out and just pick up that portion that is on city property. Well, I don't know, I'm gonna push it right back, but that's one. So why aren't we at the very least picking up what's on public property, even if we don't pick up what's on private? And two, why aren't we aggressive enough or I want to use the word courageous enough to say, you know what, that's private property. I get it. You've been cited by police before a couple of times, by code enforcement, by zoning. Nothing is getting done. Let's go and clean it. Then we're gonna send you a bill. What are they gonna do? Sue us for cleaning up? I mean, I get it. Like, what are they gonna do? Sue the city for cleaning up their mess?
That's,
You know,
we have the attorneys for, but that would be there's a reason why, Clean City does not do private property at all. That's why I asked.
no, I get it, but I just can't imagine that they're gonna hold us specifically out-of-state landlords are going to hold the city hostage with their BS. Because it is BS. There were dirty diapers. There was just like, stuff that if it wasn't picked up, I'm glad whoever cleaned it up. I believe you said it was the city, right? Excuse me, the private
I would believe it was the owner.
and the fact that we don't know who the heck cleaned it up bothers me. And I get a little ticked off about it because I'm not pointing finger one way or the other, but for God's sakes, we need to know what the right is doing, what the left is doing. We need to talk to each other. It seems to me that nobody knew what the hell was going on here. And this particular situation bothers me a lot. I know it bothers everybody, I have to say. And I get it. And it seems to me that we have to have more conversations regarding to illegal dumping. And so, all right. So, moving on. I'm sorry, Mike. Did you want to say something? I just got.
Wow.
I just don't like that. It just bothers me that somebody's going to hold us hostage for their BS. I just don't say.
I would say that this one here, like I said, most of the time we get a better response and we're not having to deal with something that large in nature. There's certainly smaller stuff and you can find them. He went out almost 400 times during the month, but certainly nothing really gets to that extent. This one did. So I would say this extent of dumping is sort of rarer. It does happen but it shouldn't get like that. Maybe on the other side, and it's not just me, it would be, again, Keith O'Connor in the housing department and our law department can get brought in, but essentially.
Yeah, I understand, Mike. Excuse me, just a quick question. Sergeant and Mike, on the properties, and even Tom, once we have identified a location as a legal dumping site, I know we have cameras out there, but do we still monitor those areas frequently? Like, does a human being go out every so often and check on that location? Mike, Sergeant, Tom, whoever.
Yes, we do, Counselor.
You do, okay. With a human, with a person, Tommy?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Sergeant?
Yes, we check the sites, working with our camera guys, Mike McCloskey. We actually just issued 2 criminal complaints for illegal dumping, one on Greenwich Street and one from Hayden Alley, I believe. And we have a few others, I believe, we're working on tracking down the leads we were given via the cameras. Sometimes they come up to dead ends, sometimes they don't. But we actually have a couple active ones we're working. I believe one is at Win Liquors. I don't know if that's from the cameras or just from a witness, and I don't recall where the other one was at this time.
I understand. Okay, very well. And Mike, do we?
Yeah, well, the zoning, I mean, the housing department has about 8, 9 inspectors. The zoning department only has 2. We lost one, so I really only have 1. But generally, the inspectors should be looking at what's going on in their area for sure.
Are we interviewing anybody for that position?
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay.
Hopefully, yeah.
Fingers crossed. Okay. Very well. So, it is critical for the residents at home that are watching. If you see illegal dumping, please call 311. That's going to give us data for us to look at. It's going to make us aware of what's happening in the city. So that's number one, because we also need your input. We need you who is watching at home. We need you to be our eyes and our ears. We don't see everything. We don't know everything. This is also your city. So I appeal to you to don't be afraid. Just call 311, let them know what's going on. It was going to give us data, and we can analyze trends, and we can deploy people accordingly. Our end, we have situations where I'm going to look more into why is it that we have so different levels of fines. It seems to me, in my humble opinion, it should be a standardized amount or a higher amount. And we need to figure out the processes, like one of the council says a little while ago. What's going on that we're not, I feel that we're not really talking to each other. And because this is a classic example. And so in terms of like, I don't know, I just feel like 2 months was too long. I get it, it's private property. I totally get that, but maybe I'm being a little too courageous. Tommy, did you want to say something?
I'm just going to add, Councilor, that to your question regarding fining, just for your edification, state law allows up to $5,500 for a dumping offense. Just so you know.
Yeah. 5,500.
5,500.
Okay. Can you email me that? Tell me when you get a chance.
Sure.
If you don't mind, please. Very well. Does any Councilor Hurst, Madam President, do you have any questions, follow-ups, suggestions?
No, Mr. Chair. I think you covered it.
Okay.
All set.
All set. Very well. I myself, I don't have anything. I think we started the beginning of a good conversation. I felt that it was important to have this meeting to start talking about illegal dumping of what happened on Orleans Street. It was much smaller level. I wonder, you know, I have to say, Tommy, that 358 calls a month on average, 300, 400. Kudos to you, Tommy, and your crew, and to Tom, because you guys are busy. You know,
Very busy, and it's kudos to, you're right, to these guys that are out there every single day doing it.
yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's necessary.
Yeah, I was not aware that you guys were doing that many calls. That's a busy shift, busy day. So I don't have anything else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow up with the law department on these questions, and I'm probably going to have a follow up on this in about a month or so, just to see what I have found out, where we are. Because I think this is a worthy discussion to have. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same goal, and that is to have a clean city. And, you know, we just, again, we cannot let these knuckleheads, honestly, landlords hijack us and give us their BS. So with that being said, if nobody has anything they want to add, the time is now 3:45 p.m. and I'm adjourning this meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming. God bless you.